Hi, welcome back. So we're at the section of errors and exceptions. Now, basically, what does mean syntax error? Let me show you an example. If I would have to start here and say, for example, while true. Now, if I would have to run this just like so, I would have end up with this error, say invalid syntax. So this is a syntax error because I didn't follow the exact syntax as Python expect me to do. And what does actually the other kind of problem called the exceptions problem? The first time, maybe say, for example, we would have to say 10 multiplied 1 divided by 0. So basically we know this is wrong. Mathematically, we can divide by 0. Zero division error. This is another type of exception error, the name error. What does a name error mean? It means I didn't or I failed to define what does X mean because it is not actually defined at the first place. Now let's try another type of error. For example, I would say 2 plus 2, something like this. And if I would run this, call the type error. So we have name error, type error, we have zero division errors. These are type of exceptions and syntax errors you might run into. So what can be done actually to handle those kind of exceptions? The simplest technique actually is to try something called a try and except block. So this is the syntax. So whatever you write in here, in case of an error happen, just go to the exception and do something else. So we would have to try here, for example, let's say just to run this and try to enter 5, for example. This is right, an integer, but let's try now to enter a letter. For example, you could see here, oops, you didn't enter an integer. Now if I would to run this, this is an error which raised from the try block. So raise basically it's a statement allow the programmer to force a specified exception to occur. Another syntax which we call it the final syntax, meaning to say to run this. Watch carefully what happened. I get the result because it passed, it tried, it created the result really done. There is no exception, so it passed this one, it went to the else, and then it printed the result. And finally it printed the calling is at end. Now let me try to divide by 0. It means it's not gonna reach to the else, it will actually raise the exception. You have divided by 0, but again it printed finally the calling is at end. So finally it is a statement that it is going to always be printed no matter what result passed with the try or with exception. That was all about the handling exceptions and error in Python. Next we will be working actually with classes. I will see you then.